Hi folks, and welcome back to Conan Exiles. This is episode 5 of the Beginner's Guide, and in the last episode we were taming thralls, and we tamed Sink the Pillow Dancer, who, although she's a performer, we're using her as a named fighter thrall to help us out in the exiled lands. So the normal next step that I would take after getting a decent named thrall down here on New Brewer, and putting a few levels on them to get them a bit of strength and vitality, would be to try and upgrade their armor to heavy armor. One of the issues that we have with heavy armor is that heavy armor requires heavy padding to make, and to craft heavy padding we need thick leather. But the creatures that you get thick leather from are rhinos and elephants that can be found up in this savanna area up here. But also way over on the west here, so we're down here, way over here we've got Seppermaru, the city of Seppermaru. And just outside, both to the north and south of that, there are rhinos that are pretty easy to take out, and certainly a lot easier to take out than the elephants that are up in this area here, especially because there's tigers and lions patrolling around there as well, which can all be quite dangerous. So normally what I would do is I make a journey along New Brewer, and I would work myself up and round the side here, and I would head up to around about this location here, and I would get myself a couple of rhinos down, and then we would skin them and take their hide, and then bring their hide back and tan it into thick leather to make some heavy armor for our thralls. But I got a comment in one of my videos about a little trick that we can possibly do using an armorer thrall in the tanner's bench. And I didn't know anything about this, and this is one of the reasons I love this game so much, is there's so many things that after playing it for years you can still find new stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and get an armourer, because I know a little spot just along New Brewer here where there's a guaranteed armourer spawn, and we're going to tame one of them, and we're going to try this trick out and see what it does. So I'll see you there. Okay, welcome back. As you can see behind us, that is the Shattered Bridge. So if we look down on the map here, the Shattered Bridge is here, and we are just slightly along from that, and we're facing towards a little camp just over there that always has two exiles in it. This guy who's walking about is usually a fighter, and you can just see, just sitting there just behind, in front of the bonfire, that thrall is always an armourer. So what we'll do is we'll put you on attack nothing. In fact, no. Yeah, we'll put you on attack nothing, and we'll give you the truncheon, and we'll get you to do the knockout work, and I'll take on this. See, we can actually pull him on his own, and he's walking right over towards them, which is a shame. Go and knock them out, and I'll take on this guy. He's just a fighter one. Oh, he kicked me. Puts my shield down. Let him attack again. Just let him attack again. Okay, he's down. Right, let's go over and have a look over here. Okay, so this is just an armourer one, but apparently this trick works with an armourer one as well. There we go. So we'll get our bindings, and we'll get them back and get them tamed up. Okay, see you soon. Okay, welcome back. Right, our Armourer 1 Thrall is tamed, so we can now take him out. And this is the first crafting thrall that we've seen, so you can't place them down. If we we try to press F5. It doesn't give us the option to place them down like we did with before, but you can put them in these thrall slots. And being a tanner's table, I'd always only put tanners in the tanner's table, but big shout out to the comment from DJV Anima Fan, because he said that you can put even an Armourer 1 in a tanner's table and it gives you this recipe here, Stitch, which allows you to use 4 regular hides and 1 twine to craft a thick hide. And this is all news to me. I've never heard this before. Right, so we've picked up some skins on some creatures we took from on the way down to get the armourer and back again. So let's see. So we can craft 221, okay. And I believe to make a full set of heavy paddings, we need 200. So I'm going to get that crafting, and I'll see you soon. Almost done. And there we go. So we've used a level 1 armourer, and we've used this stitch ability to create a bunch of thick hides without going anywhere near a rhino. But of course, we'll have to tan those hides into a thick leather, and I've just realised I don't have any bark to tan them with, so I'm going to have to pop outside and go and grab some bark. Take that hide out because it's making leather out of them first, but we're wanting to ignore that and get straight on to the thick stuff. There it goes. Okay, I'll return when that's complete. Okay, so the last of the thick hide is almost tanned into thick leather, sorry. One more. There we go. Right, we put that in here. Alright, let's just go for heavy. So, yeah, 40, so that's just enough to make 5 heavy paddings. What other items will we need? We'll need some horns. Okay, we've got some horns. You can get horns from the what are they, antelopes and kudos, little horn beasts that are just up the hill slightly. Normal leather, we've got a bunch of that, and iron bars, we've got some of that. We're probably going to need a bit more iron bars though. Do we have any more? I have to go on an iron run again soon. Okay, back to searching for heavy. So iron bars, leather, iron bars, leather, gloves, iron bars, leather. Okay, so the only thing that was different from the iron bar and leather is the helmet, which needed 2 horns, and we've got 5. So, okay, so we can make 1 helmet, 1 chest piece, legs, gloves, and boots. Did that craft? Oh, it did. It just was off the bottom of the scale. So now we can up our armor level from medium armor, which is given her. Oh, in fact, she didn't even have medium gloves on. Oh dear. So she still had her dancer gloves on. Okay, well, with a full set of medium armor. She has 234 armor. If we swap that out, okay, why is that not going on? Is it our inventory's full? Put that on. Put that on. There we go. That's better. Heavy gauntlets. And did I not pick up the boots? Did I not craft boots? Oh. What? Oh, we've still got one padding. Oh, we didn't craft the heavy boots. We craft them. There we go. Put them on. So it was 234. She's now already gone up to 422 armor, which will give her considerably better protection than she had before. Okay, I'm going to stick it back in here. If there's enough space, oh, there isn't even. Okay, we're going to chuck out the old cloth gear. And we'll put the medium armor in here because I will eventually end up wearing that at some point in time. Put that in there. And there we go. So that is her set on a much better set of armor now. So the next thing for her is to improve the weapon. But to improve the weapon, we really want to go up to steel. And steel requires level 30. So we look at feats. Survival, steel tools, level 30, we're 28. So we just need to do a bit of leveling to get up to level 30, and we'll look at doing that next episode. So now what I want to speak about, just for the last little section in this video, is a few things that I've seen both online and in other players' videos. The first one of that requires us to set up a little test environment to do some stat testing. So I'm going to go and do that now, and I'll see you there shortly. Okay, the next point we're going to talk about is I've seen both in the comments and on Reddit and such like that strength doesn't affect the damage calculations of your thrall. It affects the melee damage of you yourself, but not of your thrall. So I've loaded into a little test environment here, where I've spawned in 2 Relic Hunter Treasure Seekers, so that they're both starting with exactly the same stats. I've given them both exactly the same armor, and exactly the same weapons, a Star Metal Greatsword, Star Metal Greatsword. Except this guy, I leveled him up with Gruel to give him the bonus to strength, and he ended up with 27 strength. Some of that has come from the perks he got, and some of that came from the growth chance for each level that he leveled up. This guy, I leveled him up with the stake, the grill stake, which gives you the boosted vitality. So he has ended up with only 11 points in strength. 3 of that has come from this Universal Warrior perk. And he got all his points in, or a lot of his points in vitality. So he has 9,787 health. This guy only has 9,400 health. But this guy should have a lot more strength than this guy. I've also enabled Hosaf's UI mod, which you can see in the top left. It gives you some slightly different details, a bit more information, and one of the things it does is it gives you damage indicators on the screen of the damage that your follower is doing. So we're going to take this guy first, and we're going to fight the croc boss that's just over there in that lake over there, and we're going to see what damage he does. So let's head over there. So here we are, we're at the lake, and there is the 3 skull world croc boss. I'm just using him because he's got a lot of HP, so we'll be able to see multiple examples of his numbers before killing them, whereas the little crocs or whatever, he'll kill them no problem at all. So just to confirm, this is the guy that's got 27 strength. Then let's send them in and get going. So there's multiple different attacks that you'll do. So we'll see the numbers for each one. So there we go, 165 for that one, 137, 150, 165. Let's see which. So there's the big two-handed overhead, so that was 274. So 137 appears to be his standard light attack. And then as he goes into the combos, you get the 150s, 160s. Let's see if we can do another big overhead one. So obviously you'll be getting crits and stuff in there as well. So do the tail swipe. Down, there it goes, boom, 274 for that one. Okay, so that gives us the idea of the numbers for this guy with the strength. So I'm just going to let him finish him off, and then I'm going to go and get the other guy, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, so we're back at the croc boss again, and as just check this, that this is the guy with 11 strength. So if Reddit is to be believed, he should have exactly the same numbers. So let's see what happens. So 117, 152, 140. Yep, so it appears his light attack is 117 as opposed to 137 of the previous guy. And then with his combos, instead of being 151 and 165, where did he go? Where did he go? Did he get knocked? There he goes, back in. Come on. Attack. So 120, 140, yeah. So on the previous guy, that was 137, 150, 165, and 200. Now let's see if we can get his big double-handed overhead hit. Come on.
Like the Cobra Exile, my fight is death!
Swipe again. Couldn't do it. Still doing a lot of damage because he's still a decent thrall with decent weapon.
Set will grant me cunning.
Keeps getting tail swiped, so he's not getting to get into these proper.
Like the Cobra Exile, my fight is death!
There it goes. 233. So that was 274 with the other guy. So I think that puts that one to bed, that strength definitely makes a difference. You're still very much at the hands of RNG because it's a chance of increasing strength per level, so that doesn't necessarily going to happen. And then the perks that you get at level 10, 15 and 20 can either increase or could possibly even decrease your strength as well. So there's a whole bunch of different information there that could make or break the calculations. But we can definitely say that strength does affect thralls, because we've got two thralls with exactly the same starting stats, exactly the same weapons and armour, and one has got quite a bit more strength than the other, and he's doing quite a bit more damage than the other. Okay, let's that one put to bed. Okay, we're back in our normal beginner's guide save game again, and all that test malarkey has all disappeared. So one of the next things I want to speak about is shields, because I've seen so many videos with guys fighting with a shield out like this and just getting hit time and time again. Having a shield in your hand actually does nothing at all. If we look at the shield, it doesn't give you any armor value or anything whatsoever. It's only there as a mechanism to block attacks. And in order to do that, you have to hit the block button. And that block button on a PC is control, and you can see the shield gets held up. If you let it go down, the attacks will just go straight through it. So I've seen so many people, and they have a one-hander and a shield, and they pull them both out to go into a fight, and they'll just run up to the guy and just hit it. But the shield's still just down by its side, and they just get hit. If you put your shield up, missed. No damage. No damage. No damage. Put it down, bang, hurt. So you put it up, block, wait for them to attack, and then hit them back. Then block again, and attack. A bit more difficult when you're fighting two coming from different angles, but you can see here. This is the way you use a shield. You don't just equip it and just leave it limp at your side. That does nothing. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is keyboard and mouse versus controller. Now, I fully appreciate this game is available on the PlayStation and it's available on the Xbox, and typically that is where I've seen this issue pop up more often than not, is people playing it on those and they get attacked, something happens, and they have to bring up a control wheel instead of the hotbar down the bottom. They have a wheel that pops up, and especially if you're doing the one hand and shield, you have to hit the wheel, bring up your shield, hit the wheel, bring up your weapon. And by that time, obviously you can't run while you're doing that, and by that time you're getting hit on, and depending on who's hitting you or what's hitting you, you could possibly be dead. Whereas there are PC players who are playing with the controller, the Xbox controller, and it is a difficult thing that if that's what you're used to, but without a doubt this game is so much better, or easier should I say, with the keyboard. Because if you're getting attacked while I'm running about, I can just hit button 4 and my shield comes out. I can hit button 3 and that comes out. My sword, weapon, whatever it is, comes out. Hit 4, put it back in, it's back out again. And so much more reliable. And the secret to that is always have the same tool and weapon on the same key. So that in an emergency, I know that for as long as I've played this game, my pick's on 1, my axe hatchet is on 2, my sword, mace, my one-handed weapon, whatever it is, on 3, my shield is on 4, 5 I'll usually have a set of daggers or a bow, and then my healing items 7 and 8 for food. And because they're always been there, my muscle memory knows that whenever I'm in trouble, I just hit 4 and I've got my shield out, hit block, and we can assess the situation and then work out what we're wanting to do. Whether that's commanding my follower to do something, or wait in between attacks, then get my weapon out to try and kill it myself. But yeah, it's a lot easier. If you have the option, play this game with a keyboard and mouse. It's so much better. Okay, and the last thing I want to speak about is filters in your inventory. So if we go into our inventory here, we can see all the items in our inventory, and we can see over here all the items that we can craft. And just above the inventory, you have these 5 buttons. One for weapons, one for armor, one for materials, one for consumables, and one for building items. And so many times I see people, if you click on it, it only shows you your armor, or it only shows you your weapons. And they're looking for something, and they're clicking through these buttons and can't find it. It's even worse when you get crafting benches or in your crafting screen here, especially when you've unlocked more and more stuff. trying to find that one thing, and the amount of times I see people and they're skipping through this, they can't see it and they skip past what they're looking for, but there's just too much going on. So I wholeheartedly recommend leaving that set to all, and if you can't find what you're looking for easily, just use this search button up here. So foundations, and it just shows you the foundations, and then clear it. Whereas using these buttons is, I never use them, and I see so many videos where people can't find what they're looking for because they're looking for it on a screen that's not the right screen. So best option, leave it set to all, search by the device here, or what you quite often will get is you're trying to get rid of the heavy stuff. You can change this to heaviest first, and you'll see if you've got like a stack of 600 stone, it'll just jump straight to the top, and back to custom will put it in the layout you wanted. But it's just a little thing, but something that I see lots of videos of people having issues with. So we'll go for that. Okay, that's all for today. In the next video, we're going to be looking to upgrade to steel tools and weapons, the next tier of tools and weapons. So as I said earlier, you have to be level 30 for that, but there's a few prerequisites that we'll want, and if completing those prerequisites to get them should get us to level 30, and we'll get that done in the next video. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.